Today, we're going to test if physically practicing a skill is better than practicing a skill in your mind. And this will be our science lab where we will figure out the answer to our question. Let's go. So this is how the experiment would work. Both me and my friend Ritesh will be practicing shooting a basketball from the same spot every day for a week straight. But Ritesh will be practicing in his backyard actually shooting a basketball, whereas I will just be sitting in my house imagining that I'm shooting a basketball. And to test which will be the more effective practice method, we'll get the data for the number of shots we could make out of 10 before and after the week of practice. And to keep things all equal, we'll also keep the number of shots we'll practice each day the same. And so with all things planned out, we're finally ready to begin our experiment. So the experiment starts with us collecting the initial data for the average number of shots we can make out of 10. And here's the data. For those of you wondering why the score ranges between me and Ritesh is that big, is because I haven't played basketball in years, okay? So occasionally you'll see shots like these. And I'm hoping that this doesn't happen anymore after a few weeks of imagining that I'm practicing. With all the data collected, it's now for a 10-second montage of a week of practice. Now it's time to see our results. After this week, we tested the average number of shots that we can make out of 10 again, and here's the result. Surprisingly, as you can see from the data, both the mental practice and the physical practice groups saw improvements of very similar degrees. And for me, the mental practice group, the average number of shots made out of 10 increased by 70%, whereas Ritesh, the physical practice group, the average increased by 80%. What these data tell us is that both types of practice, mental or physical, help us get better at what we do. And the scientific reason why visualization is almost as effective as physical practice is that when we picture doing something in our brain, the brain actually thinks that we're actually doing it. And so it triggers the same pathways of the brain as physically doing that motion. So we can think of our brain as being made of lots of wires called neurons that are connected to each other. So these connected neurons deliver signal from one to another to tell our body what to do. And so in this case, the same sets of neurons are used to send signals for both picturing and actually shooting a basketball. And with repeated practice, no matter which type, these signals that these neurons send become stronger and faster. Hopefully we learned something new today that can be incorporated into our everyday life. Make sure to share this video to your friends or family to help them learn something new as well. Also, subscribe if you want to see more contents like these where we have fun science experiments and explain things in easy to understand ways.